Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll do a quick sketch of a cafe. For that I'm just going to use small simple brushes, watercolors and a watercolor paper and a ballpoint pen. That will be sufficient for our sketch today. So initially what I'll be doing is I'll just take that paper to my book and then I will start painting. Initially what I'm going to do is just watercolor the paper first, so that I want to do a wet on wet painting, and then later on I'm just blocking colors of what I see for the cafe, just that light first layer of the painting. That means that should be light enough, and then after drying it for some time, so I'll just let it dry for some time, and I'm going to do a rough sketching with a ballpoint pen. A small ballpoint pen or any waterproof pen will work. While I'm doing sketches, I just wanted to share a few tips on how to do loose sketching and what will work. Tip number one will be like, you'll have to use light strokes initially, like a basic light structure for your sketch, so that later on you can start building on whatever your painting is. Like how I'm doing, I started initially the basic first layer and then started sketching. So, and another tip is like, you'll have to get that proportions correct. No need to worry about details, but the proportions, like basic structure of the house, if you're painting a house or if you're painting some other landscape or some architectural building. And it's not always important to practice with watercolors. Once you have that good foundation of sketching, then later on probably you can practice watercolors as well. To get that proportions correct, you can do basic sketching with ballpoint pen or some pencil, with the basic or architectural figures, like a tower or a building or something. I'm just showing few examples of what I recently sketched. So this is how you can just practice for sketching and building the basic proportions. That is one of the tips. And whenever you're trying to paint some leaves or some plants, just make sure to maintain a rough kind of look for it, because leaves and plants are not always in a straight line or a round circle. So just to maintain that look, we'll have to do it in somewhat a rough way. That's what I believe for loose sketching. Like how I'm doing right now with the painting. I'm just painting the leaves in a rough way, like how I see the reference. And it's always good if you can do it in the live objects. Like if you wanted to practice more on urban sketching, then practicing real leaves, real plants, and studying the lights and proportions will help a lot. And you can also improvise your painting with your own kind of touch wherever you wanted to. So that flexibility you can maintain in loose sketching and loose painting technique. Now I'm just trying to give the highlights or the basic colors what I see, which will be my second layer of painting here. So I'm just trying to jot down the colors properly, so that will give more dimension to my painting as well. So while doing that, I wanted to share the other tip as well. And in this technique, you need not focus on each and every detail. Okay, it's all about bringing the essence. So never, you need not worry about the detail. Even if you make a mistake somewhere, you can probably cover it up like in your own way. It need not be perfect in every angle and every proportion, so you can have that liberty and paint it in your own aspect and your own sense. And when you're painting your second layer, right, you'll have to make sure that the first layer is dried out well, else it'll give a more mixed like of the mixed like of picture to your painting. So it's better you dry out your first layer completely and then start building your second layer. And my second layer, as you can see, I'm just trying to build the brighter portions of the picture or the painting, which I can see. And I'm also observing where the light is falling so that I'm keeping that portion's light, and wherever there are shadows, I'm painting it with darker color of green, so that will bring more realistic look to our picture. And one more tip is like whenever you're trying to lose sketching or lose painting, you can always try to experiment with different mediums, different techniques, and it's all about experimentation. So try out different techniques and style and see what works best for you. If not watercolors, maybe acrylic colors might work for you. So you'll have to check which color is working for you and which color or medium you're comfortable with. So you can take that liberty and try out different things. And loose sketching is also helpful while doing urban sketching from life. Since you're doing it pretty quickly, it will not take much time, so you can really draw something whenever you visit some place, or when you're traveling, or when you're in your picnic, if you find some interesting locations. Yes, this allows you to sketch spontaneously and it wouldn't take much time once you have enough practice. So yeah, now I'm just trying to fill out the flowery portions or some highlights to the paintings, which will give more dimension. Okay, so yes, I am doing that highlights which I can see. And one more thing is, do not overwork, particularly while you're painting in watercolors or experimenting watercolors. When you overwork, your paper turns out to be torn pieces and pieces, and you will not be able to sketch or build further layers. So wet on wet, you should be careful when you're doing watercolor painting. Probably you can build some more layers once everything is dried out, but not overwork so that the paper is torn or maybe your picture might get spoiled. That is one. And overworking on details is also not recommendable in low sketching, because it's not about the details, it's about the essence you're capturing. So never overwork on your details. It's just the textural kind of image you're trying to capture. So that is about the details and highlighting. Now I'm just, if you see, I'm not overworking on anything, I'm just trying to capture the highlights, not reworking on the portions which I've done. I'm just trying to get that properly and getting the shadows, especially. Painting shadows will give like more realistic kind of pictures. So shadows are also important. Make sure and observe where the light is coming from. And even if you're a beginner, okay, so you can just try out shadows in your own way. It need not be perfect. And for the final touch, I am just giving a little bit of pencil highlights after the paint is dried out, so that will give more kind of finished look to this picture. And the last tip is like, you'll have to practice and never be afraid to make mistakes. They're a part of the learning process, right? So always enjoy the learning process and make mistakes. It will give you a new way to discover painting. You can enjoy the process as well. So always make sure you practice, and yes, that is about it. Now in the last, I'm going to I'm going to sketch the letters for this cafe. Just a small cafe, so I'm just lettering out. This is the final look, guys. This is how it looks. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye.